What up, pilots? Let's talk about the manual engine control and the trimming in a 109. Turn on the engine. Manual engine controls on. So, 109 German aircraft are really easy to learn for manual engine control, but they are kind of hard to fly because they do tend to wobble a lot. So with the radiators, you want to go with 40%. Magneto 1+2. There's no mixture, no turbocharger, no supercharger available, and do not mess with your prop pitch. And I'll explain why. I'll show you why at the end of the video. Alright. So with 109s, they tend to torque to one side a lot when you take off. So to help with that, well, to help with any propeller driven aircraft that torque a lot on takeoff, throttle up about halfway. Gain a little bit of momentum, correct it. It's wanting to go to the left, so I'm taking it to the right with my rudder. And then gain about 20-30 knots. Then throttle all the way up. Gain that speed. Then lift up at about 120 to 130 knots. And gear up. Flaps up. Now I'm going to trim for my climb here. So the 109, on my Mustang video I talked about the spectrum of the types of dogfighters for propeller aircraft. On the spectrum, all the way on one side you have turn fighting, all the way on the other side you have boom and zoom. In the middle you have energy fighting, and then in between those three you have hybrids. So you have energy turn fighting hybrids, energy fighters that can turn hybrids, and then energy fighters that can boom zoom hybrids. Okay. The 109 is an energy fighting boom zooming hybrid. So you want to boom zoom first, energy fight second. You can energy fight most American aircraft unless you're at a lower battle rating. Don't try to energy fight P-36s. Anything else though you can energy fight that's American. And then British aircraft, you can energy fight Tempests and Typhoons. Do not energy fight Spitfires or Hurricanes, and do not energy fight anything that's Russian. And that's pretty much it. Energy fighting, no matter what type of energy fighter it is, you always want to make your opponent fight for their energy. That's what energy fighting means. You always want to try to have the advantage when it comes to energy. So you want to maneuver in a way to where it makes your opponent fight for their own energy. So fighting in the vertical, knife fighting, fighting nose to nose, things like that. Not nose to tail, nose to nose, one circle. Alright, we're at a decent altitude here. This should be fine. Let's level out. Same thing with a Mustang. You want to climb, always have the altitude advantage because this is an energy fighter on the side of boom zoom. So you always want to try to have the altitude advantage over your opponent. So let's go ahead and trim out for our cruising speed here, and then we'll save it. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it there. So go ahead and save it. We've trimmed out to our cruising speed. So now that we've saved it, we can take it into a sim match and the trim will be saved. So in the sim match you won't be able to use rudder or aileron trim, but you still will have elevator trim. So you can still trim on the fly with your elevator, but you won't be able to use your elevator or your aileron trim. Now let me show you. Well, first, so we're at altitude, right? We're looking for something unsuspecting to dive on, or we're watching around and make sure we don't get jumped by a P-47 or a Mustang, or like a P-63 or anything like that, or a Tempest or a Typhoon. And then we're looking around also for a Spitfire so we can start running. Let's say there's a Mustang below us. We go down, we dive on it, take shots, we can energy fight it, right? We can turn a little bit more than we would against a Spit. Let's say that we're flying, we see a Spit below us, we dive on said Spit, we shoot at said Spit, we run away and climb away and stay faster than said Spit. Don't turn against it. Let it chase after you as you slowly climb away from it and gain distance. That way you can energy trap it below you and finish it off. Alright. So this is why you don't use propeller pitch and anything German. So prop pitch, let's go to 90 and see what happens. 90%, good to go. You over rev your engine when you use propeller pitch. Just keep it in auto. Keep your prop pitch in auto with German aircraft. Yeah, we don't have an engine, so bummer. Yeah, so don't mess with your propeller pitch in German aircraft. 109, 190. And that's it.